We've got to keep talking about jokes and pranks because I believe that these men use jokes and pranks to push past a woman's boundaries and to kind of bully and be mean. So this woman says, am I the a-hole for yelling at my boyfriend about his jokes? And you got to put jokes in quotations because these are not really jokes. They're not funny. It's not funny if he's the only one amused. If he's the only one amused, then he's being a bully. So this young lady says, sorry if this is a little wonky and all over the place. I'm just so frustrated. So she's 20. He's 26. She's 20. He's 26. They've been together for 2 years. So she was 18 when she got with him and he was 24. That's already out of pocket right there because this man got with a teenager and she's still very, very young. She says, I and my boyfriend have been together for a little over 2 years. We have a son together. So he got with this young lady and knocked her up really quickly. All right, so this is already some red flag mess that I see. All right, so they have a son together. They're relatively happy. But he thinks it's funny to do stuff he knows is a sensory issue for me. I have autism, but I am high functioning. My boyfriend knows this, and he knows all of my sensory issues as we've discussed them when we first got together. 5 months after our son was born, he has been doing things he knows bothers me, such as putting his feet on me, taking my drink and taking a sip right in front of me, taking my hair out of a bun to follow my neck, especially when it's wet. That's when he does it the most. Taking pictures of me with the flash on. He's never done that before. Put his phone on full volume right by me. I've talked to him about it and let him know it bothers me and I don't appreciate it. And he says, it's just a joke and I just wanted to see your reaction. All right, that part right there. I just wanted to see your reaction. Put it in your back pocket. All right, he says, well, what sent me over the edge today was I cannot dry off with a towel that's not 100% dry. Well, I always put my towel in the dryer for 15 minutes before I take a shower. Well, we had to be somewhere and I didn't have the time to wait for my towel to dry. My boyfriend said he would get it out of the dryer and give it to me when I needed it. Well, he decided to take a spray bottle and spray water on my towel. Let's just say it didn't go over well. I cussed and screamed at him. I told him he's acting like a child, he needs to grow up, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I had to just walk away. When I came back to have a conversation with him, he said if I ever yelled at him like that again, he would leave, and that it was literally just a joke. A few friends said I didn't have to yell and I should have just walked away. I do believe I did take it too far. So, the thing is, he does these things to push her buttons and to get a reaction. I said put that in your back pocket. He did it to get a reaction. He did things that he knows that she does not like. He knows what she doesn't like because she has told him. She has taken things into her own hands. She says, I put my towel in the dryer for 15 minutes before I take a shower. She knows what she likes. She's particular. That's her business. She can like what she likes. He is purposely trying to push her buttons. Why is he doing this? Like he says, to get a reaction. Well, he got a reaction. He saw that she didn't like it. She's finally pushed to the point where she needed to yell at him to get his attention because talking to him in a normal voice didn't get his attention. This got his attention, and he didn't like the attention because what else was he expecting her to do? She says she doesn't like it in a normal voice. He doesn't do anything about it. She says it in a little bit deeper voice or a little bit louder voice. Now he's finally hearing her. People need to stop doing all of these stupid jokes. The first comment says, why in God's name are you with this guy? Pedal Wisp says, right. The way he's consistently ignoring her boundaries and then playing the it's just a joke card is so immature. It's not even about the towel. It's about the total lack of respect. Glow Muffet says, exactly. It was just a joke is not a free pass to disrespect someone, especially when they've clearly told you it's not okay. The dismissal of her feelings, that makes it worse. On My Last Spoon says, now that they have a baby, he's ramping up the abuse like clockwork. And then at the bottom says, the lack of respect was already a sign. Direct Bar says, a 24-year-old doesn't get with and immediately impregnate a 19-year-old autistic girl because he wants a fair and equal partnership. Commercial Curve says, ding, ding, ding. Glow Muffet says, exactly. That age gap, especially paired with how fast everything moved, screams imbalance. It's hard not to see this as someone taking advantage of a vulnerable situation under the guise of a relationship. And then National Ad says he gets joy out of making you angry and frustrated because he wants power over you. You got together when you were what, 18 and 24? He's taking advantage of you. Do you want this to be the rest of your life? Why would you want to be with a man who finds it funny to trigger you and ruin your day? You didn't overreact. You should not be with him. All right, so this was a few of the comments. She came to the internet for some advice. She got it. So here's the update. She says, I made a post a couple of hours ago. So she did this the same day. I made a post a couple of hours ago about the situation, and I just wanted to update you guys. I read every single one of y'all's comments and seriously took it all in. I've calmed myself down and waited until my mom came to pick up our son and pulled him for a conversation. I asked him to please not speak until I got everything out about how I was feeling. It was hard to start the conversation, so I pulled up my post and showed him y'all's comments. I told him I can't help that these things bother me. It's just how my brain is wired. I said it may seem like a small thing to him, but for me, it's a big thing. I mentioned that we've had a conversation before about this, and I felt he dismissed me. I told him that I loved him dearly, but his actions were making me feel as though he didn't love me, and that I was hurt that he thought it was funny to trigger me. I mentioned a lot of things that were commented under my post. He apologized and said it would never happen again. I mentioned going to couples counseling. He was definitely resistant, but I gave him an ultimatum. I said couples counseling and try to be better and work things out, or co-parenting. He asked why I would give up on us like that, and an ultimatum was crazy. I told him I'm not giving up on us. In fact, I'm trying to make us better. He eventually agreed on couples counseling. I told him he has to make an effort, and if we go and he just shuts down and doesn't want to try, then I will leave. I wanted to give us both some space to cool off and to do some thinking, so I packed a bag for me and my son, and we will be staying with my mom for a couple of days. So my son and I are at my mom's, and I just wanted to thank everyone for their comments. I know it's probably not the update everyone wanted, but I'll gladly answer any questions, and if anything happens, I will update. I am happy that she had a community to come together and say that this is not right, that he's trying to trigger her on purpose. I'm glad that people jumped into the comments to see this. I'm also glad that she does have her mother to rely on, because some young ladies do not have a mother or a soft landing space. That's how they end up with these types of men anyway. So this young lady has she's autistic. She's neurodivergent, and some of these men specifically target women like this. They do it on purpose, and he targeted her as an 18-year-old and knocked her up very quickly. So like someone has already said, there is a power imbalance in that, and he is ramping it up. He's going to continue to do this, but she has put her foot down. Going to therapy, though, with an abusive person is probably not the best idea. So hopefully he's resistant, and she does just continue this process of leaving him alone. She has her mother to rely on, which is great. She does not need this person in her life. Many of us on the outside looking in can already see that this is not going to be a healthy situation for her or her son. And Stella Bluebeard speaks about the therapy situation. She says, good luck and be careful with therapy. People who have a history of abuse often weaponize therapy language and tactics learned in therapy. I've been through it myself, and it can be very damaging. I suggest you read up on that before therapy so you recognize it if it happens instead of being broken down by it. I hope it doesn't happen, but please take care of yourself. Extreme Presence says, honestly, this is such a solid reminder. It's wild how fast therapy terms can get twisted if someone's not actually trying to grow. I'm glad you brought it up, because a lot of us don't even think about it until it's already messy. And then at the bottom she says, yeah, it's scary how quick someone can start throwing around therapy words without actually changing anything. The reminder to watch for action, not language, is huge. Glad you pointed that out, because most people only learn that the hard way. I'll end with this screenshot. Aside Beautiful says, "This is such important advice that more people need to hear. My ex did exactly this, learned all the therapy buzzwords and started using them to gaslight me even harder. You're being emotionally dysregulated became his new way of shutting down any legitimate concerns I had. OP, definitely keep your guard up and trust your gut if something feels off during and after sessions." Successful Moment says, "I was thinking the same thing. He'll weaponize what he learns and flip it on OP. See, I told you you are the problem. You're being controlling by telling me to stop." And then Mizi My Size says, "Therapy can backfire with manipulative people. So watch for weaponized therapy speak. Stay sharp." So I wanted to point this out because weaponizing therapy talk is something that does happen. They learn a couple of words. Oh my God, just like these people learning the word accountability and then gaslighting and narcissists. And all of these conversations need to have these words in it, but they are used terribly wrong. So you have to keep your eyes open for this type of thing. And I wanted to bring this to you all as well. Couples counseling could be helpful if things are, going in a way that could be helped. I don't know. I don't really know when it is good to go to therapy with these people. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there that sometimes it is not that beneficial. So y'all go ahead and chime in. Let me know what you think about all of this. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share. I'm pushing towards 100,000 over on YouTube. Go ahead and follow you.